Prachi, we have seen a huge shift in consumer behavior, right? In the cultural change which has happened in people's mind and in their lifestyle too. So people have drastically moved from the offline space to digital space. In the past, we have witnessed that. So how these outside forces and trends are impacting your segment today, Prachi?
Okay, let me see. Let's take an example of you. I know you have a kid and how you have been shopping, right? Take an example how it's a girl, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Right?
It's good.
Yeah, and it's a lovely space to be having a girl around in the house, and how you would have been shopping for her crazily, like her fashion, like her little personal care products, right? This would have been your experience. So before we entered this situation, I don't want to call this as a pandemic, or it just puts a lot of pressure on us.
Yes.
So before we entered this situation, look at how you shop. You'd go around, browse around for things. I mean, to touch, feel कि ये सबसे अच्छा है मेरी बच्ची के लिए, and then only pick it up when you are 100% sure. Look at how you have shifted as a consumer. Your conversations during when we entered the pandemic and when the child grew during the 3-4 months of lockdown or non-essential, the first time you opened up, you're like, oh, बच्चे के कपड़े छोटे हो गए, right? The first thing that every parents were really worried about is the kids outgrowing what they had entered the pandemic situation with, right? And that's precisely what first thing. Second thing is your sleepwear. Lot of focus would have gone to your sleepwear because that's what you've been living in. I mean, for the 4 months, you've been living in those same kind of sleepwear that you actually entered the situation in March. Right. So look at how your shopping patterns has evolved. Also, that's first part of what you buy. Let's look at how you buy it also. So your journey, think about your journey pre-pandemic. You'd go enter a retail shop, and then again have a conversation, browse through. Post-pandemic, when everything opened up also, you're not allowed to browse. You can't take one or two more products into the trial room to try. B, there is so much of pressure on you experiencing any kind of negative situation with the virus that you're forced to actually stay in the digital space and do a pick and choose and then pick the product up, and hey, if you don't like it, just return to the vendor. That's precisely how your experience has been. Yes, and the same goes for all of us. As consumers, yes, lot of behavioral shift has happened, and for good. I think all of us have been really struggling to get this e-com space right as business people, and I think this situation just hastened the entire steps up towards that. Coming down to the industry that I work in currently, yes, this has also seen, this domain is no different. I mean, at the end of the day, the customer or the final consumer buys a fashion, buys a beauty, buys the food, and buys the medicine. I mean, you are not changing, right? And how will you source your product will not change, and that applies to every brand out there. So whether you buy a atta, whether you buy fashion, or whether you buy your medicine or over-the-counter drugs or over-the-counter product or your personal care product, you will be looking towards ease and safety. That's how every customer that's how you and I are doing, and that's how every customer is.